Hey guys, what's going on? Dr. Frank here, the founder of Addiction Mindset Recovery Coaching Programs. And in today's brief video, I want to provide you with 12 tips that you can implement into day number 1 of quitting smoking weed or quitting vaping. Here at Addiction Mindset Recovery Coaching, we help people quit nicotine, THC, energy drinks, and adult media content. So be sure to subscribe if you like today's content. Now, a quick disclaimer, a lot of the content in today's video is kind of an updated version of an older video found on YouTube, and I credited that creator in the description below, so be sure to check that out. Okay, it's day number 1 of quitting smoking weed, quitting vaping. Step number 1, tip number 1, go into this with a positive attitude. The last thing you want to do is start your quitting journey and your journey to sobriety and recovery on a negative foot. You shouldn't view this as you're giving something up or that you're making a sacrifice. The reality is you're simply stopping doing something that you no longer want to be doing anymore. That's not making a sacrifice. That shouldn't be a painful experience for you. And you can make this a positive experience by thinking about all of the things that you're going to gain back in life. Your relationships, your finances, your time, your energy, your money, whatever it may be. But I want you to view this as not giving something up, but about rather all the things you are going to gain back. Tip number 2, make a list of the top 7 to 10 reasons why you want to quit. And once you officially quit smoking weed or quit vaping, I want you to expand upon that list with each and every passing day, because I think you're going to find a lot of benefits that you did not expect to find. Tip number 3, go cold turkey. You don't need Nicorette gum. You don't need to wean off slowly. Go cold turkey. There's nothing more painful than continuing to do something or being forced like you're continuing to do something that you no longer want to do anymore. I've made plenty of other videos talking about the benefits of cold turkey, and I'll link them at the end of this video. Very important tip number 4, destroy your supply. If you're quitting smoking or you're quitting vaping, get the weed out of the house. Get the vape products and the pods and the disposables out of your house. You don't want to have excess temptation laying around. It's like when we work with people who have sugar addiction or food problems, especially in the case of overeating, we tell them, get the substances out of your house. If it's there, you're going to be a lot more tempted to use it. You want to do your best to put a barrier between you and that substance, especially when you're in your home. Tip number 5, tell other people that you're quitting. Having a support system can go a really, really long way. Now, if you're quitting smoking weed or quitting vaping, you can download the Quit Vaping app. There's an excellent community of individuals on there. And if you need a support system, let me know in the comments. Say, hey, my name is blank. Today is day 1 of quitting, and I need some support. And I'll be sure to respond to your comment, welcoming you to our Addiction Mindset family. Tip number 6, don't use any crutches. Now, I want to be very clear on this. Don't go use Nicorette gum. Don't go use nicotine patches. Don't feel like you're going to use a CBD vape or a CBD pen to wean off of THC. You don't need a crutch. This crutch creates a mindset of sacrifice and deprivation that you need to replace this horrible drug addiction with something else. And the reality is you don't have to. Now, I'm making an exemption, obviously, when it comes to medicinal use and medical marijuana. I'm talking about addiction, let me be clear. But you don't need a crutch. It's just another way, especially in the business of nicotine, for them to keep you addicted for a longer period of time. Don't use a crutch. The crutches that you can focus on, deep breathing, meditation, taking cold showers, talk therapy, exercise, listening to inspiring podcasts or watching inspiring videos, hopefully like this one. But I don't want you guys to use a physical crutch because that usually fails people in most cases. Tip number 7, be prepared for triggers. What you have to learn to do is go through your day-to-day life without vaping. Go through your day-to-day life without being high. So many people, when they quit, they reach out and they say, oh my gosh, if only I could be comatose for 4 days to get through this. That's horrible. That's a horrible idea. You want to be awake. You want to be experiencing life without this drug. That's why you're quitting. You are craving something more than this drug is capable of giving you. And I think when you dive into life, you're going to find that something. I'm not saying it's not going to take work. I'm not saying it's not going to be a challenge, but I'm telling you it's worth it. So be prepared for day-to-day triggers. Think about ways in which how you're going to manage them, and don't be afraid of them. Face them head on. You have to learn how to go through your day-to-day routines without this substance. In my opinion, this is often one of the biggest challenges that rehab facilities face when it comes to drug addiction. When you're in a rehab facility with a pool and everything's peaceful and you're in this private pay place and you have a chef and they're making your food for you, it's not reality. And I think that's why so many people relapse when they get out. But, rehab facilities are great. Nothing against them. Just my 2 cents. Tip number 8. Be prepared for the internal debates that you're going to have in your head. I want a cigarette. I don't want a cigarette. I want to smoke weed. I don't want to smoke weed. Where's my vape? I need it. I'm going to go buy a new one. There's 2 things that I have for you on this. 1, don't engage in these debates. This isn't a debate that you have to engage in. You can simply step out of the ring. Tip number 2, if you really want to hit that vape again, if you really want to smoke weed again, I want you to say, I want to smoke weed, but I accept that it's ruining my finances. I want to accept that it's ruining my mental health. I accept that it's destroying my energy. For vaping, I want to vape so I can't breathe when I run. I want to vape so I can continue spending my money on this. I want to vape so I can continue to go through withdrawals every 30 minutes of my life. If you're going to debate with yourself and tell yourself that you want another puff, that you want just one more hit, which we know is often a lie, I want you to take full responsibility for what that statement actually means. If you're going to debate with yourself, you might as well get good at it. Tip number 9, be prepared for a bad day. The reality is when people quit vaping, when they quit smoking weed or any addiction for that matter, we are usually thrown challenges within the first 3 to 7 days of quitting. Sometimes these challenges are exceptionally hard. Your car breaks down, someone's in a car accident in your family, a loved pet passes away. I know I'm saying horrible things, but these are real life examples that I deal with when people are quitting addictions. And maybe it's little things, but maybe it's that addictive voice blowing up regular daily stresses onto a larger scale to try and suck you back in. That's what addiction does. So be prepared for having a bad day in the first few days when you first quit. And I'm going to challenge you. Chances are it's not actually that bad of a day. It's more often than not that addictive voice blowing things out of proportion. Chances are these are just daily parts of life that you have to learn to live with without a substance. Tip number 10, save and invest your money. I always tell people when it comes to quitting vaping, when it comes to quitting smoking, don't just look at your money and say, oh, cool, I saved $20 this week. Do something with it. Invest it. Turn that $20 into $40 in the stock market. Maybe go buy yourself a camera and a microphone and start making your own YouTube channel. Do something with that money that's going to drive yourself forward in life. Now, the one thing early on that I don't recommend doing is saving up for a cruise or a big trip or something like that. Your reward for quitting is quitting. Your reward for quitting vaping is your sobriety from nicotine, your sobriety from weed. The fear is that once you save up for that trip and you go on that trip, that when you get back, you'll have accomplished your goal. And now suddenly you're setting yourself up for relapse. Which brings me to a bonus tip. I'm going to pause on this one. This is tip number 10.5. Write down a list of sobriety goals. What things do you want to achieve during your sobriety and recovery process? And make sure you choose things that you can build upon. Do you want to become a better parent, a better boyfriend, a better girlfriend? Do you want to dive deeper into your faith? Do you want to have financial goals? Do you have business goals? Do you have faith-based goals? What is it that you're looking towards? What is it that you're looking to achieve? Tip number 11, make a commitment and stick to it. The worst side effect of smoking cigarettes or vaping or relapsing on marijuana products is making a promise to yourself and then failing. Eventually, that eats away at a person. It chews away at your confidence. And in order to quit an addiction, we need to help you rebuild your confidence. We need confidence. And the best way to get confidence is to make a commitment and stick to it. Maybe that commitment isn't directly to quitting. Maybe it's to something else, eating healthier today, drinking more water today, going to bed at 9 o'clock instead of midnight, waking up at 5 a.m. instead of 8 a.m. Make a commitment to yourself and see it through. We have to restore confidence. That's something addiction robs of us. Tip number 12, have a plan in place when it comes to nutrition, especially when it comes to quitting nicotine. Your body's going to go through massive blood sugar fluctuations because of nicotine's impact on blood sugar levels. So I recommend keeping some fresh fruit around, blueberries, raspberries, or blackberries. Those fruits have fibers in them, and that will help to balance blood sugar levels while still giving you that glucose kick. I am going to make a much more detailed video on nutrition when it comes to quitting vaping, and then I'm going to make a separate video on nutrition when it comes to quitting weed for you guys, where I really go into details about how you can gain weight, how you can lose weight, how you can maintain a healthy state of nourishment. So that's to come. Those are my 12 tips. Again, I want you guys to check out the original content creator for this. I think he did a great job. It's all stuff that I've talked about in my programs before I was aware of his channel, but I thought it would be a really good idea to organize just 12 steps for you guys when it comes to quitting vaping or quitting smoking weed. If you have questions, or if you feel you need a little extra accountability, you need some extra support, feel free to contact our offices. All of my contact information is in the description below. We can work with you one-on-one or in our group coaching sessions. All right, follow me into the next video where I talk a little bit about not gaining weight when it comes to quitting nicotine products. I'll see you guys there.